Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future home buyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of home ownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923. AnyMac Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC. DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage. Lo-Fi Direct. Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent. License lender. Broker number ML 338923. Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License number MC 338923. Rhode Island License Lender. License number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Jawing About the G-Men, Giants football podcast. And we will get to the Giants. I'm Big Jace, joined by King Zay. But we got to start off talking about what happened. Sadly, last night on Monday Night Football, unable to continue the game due to Damar Hamlin getting injured, unresponsive, he suffered a cardiac arrest on the field, still in critical condition. They were trying to resuscitate him with CPR for 9 minutes on the field. It's just very, very rough. It's a very, very sad day in sports all over to see something like that happens. And our thoughts and prayers are with him. Zay, what did you think of the situation that happened last night?
Just an, absolute scary scene, something, we've never really seen in sports before, or rarely seen in sports. We've seen, ambulance on the field, but never for a situation that serious or, that to that level or extent. So, we're all trying to, process it and move on the best way we can and, eventually find our way back to sports. But what's most important right now is Damar Hamlin's health and, getting him healthy and making sure he's, out of critical condition and can just, live again, not necessarily even worry about playing, but just being able to live again. I think that's going to be one of the keys, with everyone moving forward, one of the important things we're going to be looking forward to. So, yeah, it's just, like you said, prayers to him and his family and hope, things start to, get better within the coming time.
Yeah, only time will tell, and it's very, very sad, but that's just sports. It sucks to say, but freak stuff happens, and it really, really sucks. Let's hope things will get better, and let's try now. I know that there is a sad aura, but let's turn that around and try and talk about the Giants here. Giants. 38-10 over the Colts. Actually, I do want to play a little clip here from the New York Giants TikTok account. So just enjoy this.
But the reality of the situation is Giants don't particularly move you. But I don't see three teams coming out of the NFC East, and I think it's going to be Philadelphia and Dallas.
I got them winning 4 games. I mean, BMAC, you're talking about not, know what to expect out of Carson Wentz. How can you say that about Daniel Jones? I mean, are we serious right now?
Are you serious, my brother?
This team doesn't have a good enough defense to overcome what they lack in offense.
Are the New York Football Giants a playoff caliber team?
No.
It's the biggest piece of dog.
They're not a playoff team now.
It's the biggest piece of dog.
I don't know that the Giants are getting.
It's the biggest piece of dog.
I still think the Rams are going to come back for that final wild card spot.
Are you sure about that?
They're going to get healthier on that offensive line. They just have too much talent, I think, for New York to surpass them.
And I don't trust them at all. I think they're going to get beat Sunday night in what shouldn't be the Sunday night game. Giants at Commanders.
There we go. Go check out the Giants TikTok account because that was great. Yeah, a lot of people counted the Giants out. I mean, it was rough there in the middle of the season. Get back on track. This is something we haven't seen from the Giants all year. Like we've seen. Look at the Texans, the worst team in football right now. That was still a close game. The Giants play a lot of games close, and they were able to just beat the brakes off the Colts here. I don't know necessarily if that's more indicative of the Colts being a disaster, but either way, no, listen here. Either way, though, the Giants are doing something right. Daniel Jones looks great. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Giants. They look great, but there is some other stuff going on the other end. But realistically, Zay, this is going to be this was a big game. I mean, just them demolishing them like that, I think that's huge, even though it was a bad team. And I said it last week, and if the Giants can beat the Eagles, which we'll get to a little bit here, this is a team that's getting hot at the right time. So, Zay, realistically, can the Giants make a run?
I don't see why not. Obviously, where we're sitting right now, it's hard to assume that. But first and foremost, the Giants putting a whooping on the Colts is a huge thing. Remember, the Eagles almost lost to the Colts. They won 17-16. They won by the skin of their teeth. The Cowboys were down big at half and had to come back and pull it off almost to come back and win against the Colts, who, again, weren't supposed to be that good of a team. And you talk about the Eagles and the Cowboys, two of the top teams in the division. And let's not forget, they put up a ton of points against the Vikings. Had they had a coach that knew what he was doing, they probably would have won that game also. So don't take anything away from this Colts team and don't take anything away from this Giants team because both these teams compete. The record may not show it, but these guys go out there and they compete on both sides of the ball. And you have to give kudos to both sides. The Giants for playing a complete game from top to bottom, which we haven't seen them do in years. And the Colts, again, for sticking it out there, trying, again, they play tough all year long. It just, sometimes it just, doesn't always break your way sometimes. And that's what happened against the Giants, where you had guys like Isaiah Hodgins and Richie James, all these guys come up out of the blue. And now, obviously, they've been coming up over the weeks, but they really started to come out this game. We saw the Daniel Jones scramble touchdown pass to Richie James. Even Bellinger got in on the fun. He had a couple of big plays throughout that game. So I think what happened with the Colts is more of a timing situation. You're looking at a team that's coming into stride. I said it before earlier in the year when we were talking about it. I said if the Giants don't start off strong, I think they'll finish strong because I think with Dable, they'll start to figure things out. Well, luckily for us, the Giants have started strong. They fell off a little bit, but then they got back on because Dable has kept them on, and they're starting to pick up everything. And again, when you look at the playoffs, you look at the matchup, you know what the Giants can do. The Giants played the Vikings a couple weeks ago. That's who you were most likely going to end up drawing in the playoffs. You played the Vikings a couple weeks ago. You played them tough. It came down to a 60-yard field goal to have to win the game in the stadium that, if it wasn't a dome, you probably don't win that at MetLife. You probably don't hit that 60-yarder. Who knows how that game goes, obviously, with all the conditions. You don't know. But again, at the end of the day, similar to 2007 with the Patriots, you given a team that didn't probably necessarily have the confidence. Now they have the confidence. Like, hey, look, we could play with the best teams in our division. We could play with the top teams in the division.
I love that you brought up that game because I think when we get into the next game, we'll hear a little bit. I think there's a lot of similarities to that.
Yeah, there are. I see it too, but again, Daniel Jones, I don't want his story to be like Manning's story. This is Daniel Jones' story. I want him to go about it how he goes about it. Obviously, going into the Eagles matchup is going to be completely different. Obviously, the Eagles aren't going for undefeated. They're going for a number one seed. And obviously, we don't know if Hurts is going to play. We don't know what the situation is going to be. Obviously, there's rumors that Hurts is going to play because they want to lock it up.
Let's get into that game then, because there are rumblings that the Giants might even rest some starters now that they have playoff contention. And listen, I think you go back and you look at that 2007 season, ending the season with the Patriots. I know you're talking about Daniel Jones writing his own story and that stuff, but I think it's really from a Dable perspective. You got the brakes beaten off you by this team already. You have nothing really to lose. You already punched into the spot in the playoffs, and this is going to show you. This is going to be the real litmus test. Are you actually competitive? Can you compete with these top teams in the NFC? Can you actually make a run here? Because if you can, even like that Patriots-Giants game in 2007, if you can get it close, if you can prove to the team that isn't necessarily the great, if you can prove to that terrible receiving core, that beat up secondary, if you can prove to them that they can compete with the best team in football, that's big, and that can light a fire going into the playoffs. But
it could. It honestly, it could. It honestly could. But there are people who feel the Giants should bench some of their players, get healthy, get healthier for the playoffs. Because if you think about it, even if Philly beats us, it has no effect on us. Where we really fall. It really affects Philly getting their first round bye or not, basically. And for the Giants, that's a good thing because, again, you can rest guys. You can get, Dory Jackson some rest. You get Xavier McKinney another week. You can get Saquon, who's been having nagging injuries all year long between the neck, the shoulder. Give him a week. I don't know about Daniel Jones. I don't know how he is coming off of, a bye or not playing because we haven't seen a consistency, a consistency with Dable, well, not consistency, but we haven't seen a huge sample size, I should say. That's the best way to put it. We don't know how they're going to be after a week. We've only seen it once this year after a bye week. We don't know how that is after, a couple of years. After a couple of years together, we'll see how they play. But right now, we don't know what Daniel Jones will get if he takes a week off. We don't know if we're going to get a good Daniel Jones. We don't know if we're going to get a bad Daniel Jones, a slow start Daniel Jones. There's just so many questions because, again, I feel like with Daniel Jones this year, we're learning a whole new guy. The guy that was there the first 4 years, this isn't the same guy who's out there bowling for the Giants now. This guy is somebody who has confidence. He has a grasp of the offense. He feels comfortable in the offense, and he has command of it. He didn't have command the last couple of years, but you can go out there and look and tell he has command. He has respect. When he did that slide during the game, and one of the 58 on the Colts goes and, basically almost tackles him while he's sliding, and, he's got Bredesen running to the sideline. You got all these, what's the center? Nick Gates, these guys ready to go out there and run and fight for you. That shows you there's a different level of respect now for Daniel Jones. That's their guy. He didn't have that for years. So we're finding out new things about him every week. Literally, if I told you they were going to put up 30 points last week, even against a weak team, we'd all be sitting here laughing because the Giants haven't done that in Daniel Jones' tenure for the most part.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. And I want getting back to the game though. I think we don't know. We're not going to know till Sunday who's resting, who's not, who's playing, who's not. But I think if you're the Giants, I think you put your best guys out there because the first game you could go and you could say, "Hey, the Eagles, yeah, we were beat up. That they were healthy at that point. They took advantage." If you can go in and compete with a beat up Eagles team, I think that will also give you, regardless, like realistically, we're not expecting anything when it comes to the playoffs. Really, like a wild card win would be great, but just being there as the Giants, especially in Dable's first year, probably going to get him Coach of the Year because of it. Like this is where I don't want to say it, but this is our Super Bowl right now, and we just need to see growth. We just need to see for this year. For this year, Zay.
That's about as drastic as the people who wanted the Giants to tank earlier during that little losing streak and get a better draft pick and all that. Come on, people. Here's the thing: you get to the playoffs.
You get over the boat curse, and now we're fresh new waters.
You get to the playoffs. Everyone's record is 0-0. Anything can happen. We've seen it before. Breaks, all types of situation, matchups that work out for you. Again, we don't know how the playoffs is going to play out. We don't know who's going to be the final team, and that also plays a huge factor too. Is it going to be Green Bay? Is it going to be Seattle? That also plays a huge factor in it, but in how far the Giants can go. Obviously, you wouldn't. Seattle's beat you already once this year. You've already beaten Green Bay, so say you were to get past the first round, Minnesota, and if you draw Green Bay maybe in the second round, they get past their little whatever, or could you grab
Dallas? There's
was
the
it
Eagles
Dallas that you could draw? I'm trying to think.
No, if you beat you would have been the Giants would have been seated lower, so I think they would get the Eagles if they beat
the first round. Yeah,
Minnesota.
No, the Giants aren't seated lower. Hold on.
All right, listen, anything can happen, but I
need a bracket.
all the different playoff scenarios, but we'll see. But regardless, the Giants getting to the playoffs, though, like that's exceeded expectations. We did not think this was going to happen. No one really thought this was going to happen going into the season. Zay, we thought it could happen, but no one really truly believed it was going to happen, especially first year in a rebuild.
I said they could win 10 games for the first episode. I said when we were doing
could. No one. There's never a hard stance. That's
we looked at it
everyone.
And I said I don't see a
difficult schedule.
Doable. I see games they could win. I don't see why the Giants can't win 10 games.
Yeah.
Even Victor Cruz called their record around 10 wins. Yeah, I should have put that clip. Dang. There's the Giants' record their schedule wasn't that daunting. And when you look around the league, there aren't that many quality teams, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
If you look at the ESPN montage you played in the beginning, it's like ESPN almost brainwashes you to make teams. They can think that teams that aren't good are still good. The Rams weren't good this year.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, even before losing Cooper Kupp, they weren't really that good this year.
And Stafford too, but I mean,
Green Bay is just coming into its own. They weren't playing really good football all year long. Seattle's been consistent. The teams that are in the playoffs for the NFC, for the most part, have been consistent all year long. Tampa Bay is a benefit of a product of their division. If they were in any other division, Tampa Bay probably would be.
Yeah, but also, I mean, going back to that, I think Tampa Bay could be feisty.
No, they definitely could. But anytime you have one of the greatest quarterbacks
going at the right time,
you get the greatest quarterbacks ever play. But again, would they be in the playoffs in the NFC East? No. Would they be in the playoffs in the NFC West?
Well, maybe.
No.
Maybe.
No.
NFC West. That's rough.
Record they carry right now. Would they be there?
Maybe. I think they could with the record they carry. Yeah. Okay. I think they could. Did they click at the right time? Tom Brady in a playoff situation, yeah. In a regular season situation, maybe not.
No way, Jose.
Anything can happen. I think regardless, the one thing you can take away going into the playoffs here, NFC is wide open. AFC, on the other hand, I think there's a couple teams. NFC, if you like the Packers, the Lions, the Seahawks. But that's what I'm saying. All these teams that are on the outside looking in are really dependent on this week to make it in. that might end up being out, they might be able to make a run. The Lions, that offense is good to make a little bit of a playoff run.
I told you that before when you told me they were bad. Yeah.
Anything can happen in the NFC.
I literally said on the week we was going to play a couple weeks before to play the Giants, I said I'm more worried about the Lions and Redskins than I was Dallas because those teams are good. And y'all laughed at me on this show. Y'all laughed me off the show.
I mean, Dallas is good
Hutchinson
too.
ain't that good. Yada yada yada. And now you come along. I'm happy.
Dallas is good. I mean, Dallas is definitely over Detroit and the Commanders, brother.
Bro.
I hate to say it. It sucks to say, but they are.
Bro, if I'm being real to you, I'm more worried about running into those teams. Obviously, Washington is not a worry no more. But I'm more worried about running into Detroit than I am Dallas.
I don't know about that. Zay, we've seen it twice already. One time, it was closer than the other. But...
They got bad playoff luck. They got bad playoff luck.
Okay. That's all right. Listen, I don't want to accept it, but you got to at times.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't scare me in the playoffs, especially if it's an NFC Championship game.
What if he was coasting till now? What if he saved all that MVP-ness to now? That sounded weird. Pause there for a second.
He might not even make the playoffs. That'd been stupid to wait till now.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anything can happen. We wouldn't be having this conversation. Can you agree with me? We wouldn't be having this conversation if the Packers were in the AFC.
Who the Seahawks play this week?
The Rams.
The Seahawks lock up a playoff position, the last playoff spot this week.
You don't think Aaron Rodgers beats the Packers are in the driver's seat. Aaron Rodgers beats the Lions. They're in.
Yeah, and then have to jump Seattle, who'll be 9-8. No, Seattle's 9-8. Would also be 9. They'd be right in there.
Yeah, but Green Bay holds the tiebreaker over Seattle.
No, they
Green Bay's they hold the tiebreaker out of those three. It's crazy. It's crazy, but that is the truth. Zay.
Based off of what?
Did they play earlier in the season?
No, that's what I'm saying. Based off of what? They haven't played.
Then point total or something. I don't know, Zay.
No way point total. Seattle has been one of the highest scoring teams all year.
No, higher. I don't know. I have no clue, Zay.
There's no way. Seattle gets that last. What is the scenario? What is the scenario Green Bay needs?
Oh, division wins. Division wins. That's the tiebreaker. Division wins.
They're not in the same division. Oh, division wins amongst their division.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
So that's why.
That's stupid. Excuse my language on here. That's so stupid. That's a stupid one. I'm like, they didn't play.
Aaron Rodgers is in the driver's seat. Winning in situation.
What no matter. We'll be talking about Seattle in the playoffs.
I think I want Aaron Rodgers to lose and Seattle to lose. I want to see Detroit in the playoffs, baby. Madness.
Detroit scares me because that's a team that could mess around and get hot.
Yeah.
That's a team that can mess around and get hot. A lot of people don't think it.
They could. That offense
Brown can go off. Swift, they got some talent over there.
Yeah.
Williams, both Williams, receiver and running back. They got some talent over there.
Penei Sewell.
Yeah, bro.
All right.
You know, I was thinking about how many couple years ago back I wanted Quentin Nelson for the Giants, and I wanted him so bad, and then I just watched Dexter Lawrence just destroy him. It's just like,
Dexter. Yeah, Dexter Lawrence is this D line. They just needs a better secondary. I can't wait for the offseason. Offseason's going to be fun this year.
How about let's finish this loss? This season has been fun. I don't want to rush this season. Let's continue it. I want them to go as far as possible, bro. I don't care. I don't care how other fan bases feel. We're in a rebuild mode. If the Giants go to the Super Bowl in a rebuild year, I don't care how your other fan bases feel. I don't. This is what we want. You can be as salty as you want. I don't care. And I hope they win as the underdog, and it makes you even more saltier, and it pisses all over your 2023, which has already been just a terrible year to start. But I don't care. This is what I enjoy this. Let's enjoy the ride. Don't rush to the off season. March can wait. And I'm born. My birthday's in March, and I'm telling you, March can wait. March can wait. Let's see where we go here. Let's see where this goes.
No, but
Minnesota
even
doesn't scare me if we get Minnesota. And again, if the Eagles beat us next week and we have to face the Eagles in the playoffs, they're not beating us 3 times in one season.
Zay, even if they win the Super Bowl, you don't think it'll be a fun offseason? I think regardless, for the Giants, it's going to be a fun offseason.
I don't want to rush there. I want to get there. Once the Giants are out, we can rush there. I don't care after that. Once the Giants are out, we can rush there. But as long as they're still in it, let's go for it. I think they have a puncher's chance. Isn't that what y'all talk about on Low and Jabs? People having puncher's chance or something like that. I think the Giants have a puncher's chance, as y'all would put it.
You're right. Puncher's chance, yeah. That's all they have. But they're moving in the right direction. You already have the front office coming out. They're already going to lock down DJ and Saquon for another year.
Makes sense.
And I'm excited to see where you build from this, because this is just the first step in the Joe Shane, Brian Daboll era, and they're already exceeding expectations. So that's going to be. I'm excited to see what's going on.
I told y'all in the beginning, DJ is going to be our quarterback for a very long time, and y'all was like, no, it's not. He's here for a while. Get used to him.
Well, I mean, this was the year. This was the year, Zay. This was the contract year. This was the year, like, you had to question it, and he's earned it. Like, I've talked to it. Like, he was under a microscope this year for a reason, and he surpassed it, especially after that last game. He was really, really
They got rid of the incompetence around him. You put people who know what they're doing.
Yeah. And if they can.
Bro, I heard Dable gave him a fake script during the preseason, that had terrible plays, and that was supposed to set him up in terrible situations to see how mentally tough he was. And they gave Tyrod Taylor the good game plan and made him look better than DJ in the offseason just to see how mentally tough he was. If that was true, they
okay.
We might have a completely different DJ out there than what I'm telling people. People sleeping on this man. He looks locked in like I've never seen. The falling throw he had, the decision making, the run for the touchdowns, he looks locked in. Bro, I'm telling you now.
Yeah. Now, all we need now from him is, I think the next step for him, be locked in for a whole season. Granted, he did do very well this whole season.
He had 8 turnovers this year?
And get him people around him. Get him people around him. Like, no, I mean locked in, like, being able to make the plays. Like, there were a lot of times where a lot of 3 and outs. I feel like the past couple games, especially the Washington games leading into this one,
can't control that.
They're getting it going.
You can't control that. Look at the big 3. Look at the big 3 and out he had where he hit Richie James wide open.
Yeah,
you can't control every aspect of the game. He's been doing a really good job of controlling what he can control. He's been hitting. Look, I've seen him make some throws.
Just get him talent around it. Get it talent.
He made a throw to Bellinger between 2 defenders, hit him right in the hands, and I'm like, this boy, he's accurate. He's lights out, bro. I'm telling you. Watch out for DJ in the playoffs.
It'll be interesting. I'm excited. Next week, wild card show. Let's go. And we're going to be talking about the Giants. It's going to be fun. But, all right. That's going to do it for us today. Big shout out to Annie Mac Home Mortgage for sponsoring today's episode. Big shout out to Clovercrest Media. Make sure you check out www.clovercrestmedia.com for more podcasts and also more information about this podcast and more episodes as well.
Shout out to Joe also, who's going in for his 3rd surgery. Hopefully he gets back, speedy recovery. Joe, we miss you.
Yes, sir. We do miss you, Joe. And it's gonna do it for myself, Big Jace, and King Zay, and we'll see you next week to talk more Giants football. Peace out, everyone.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.